This is Justin on September 7th, 2022. The first thing you're going to notice is I didn't say Justin Amazon, and I am looking at not an Amazon chart. That is new for the channel. So haven't figured out exactly what that's going to mean, if it means rebranding, renaming, whatever that means. But here's what we need to look at for SPX today. So we had a very small gap up, really, really small, and it ran. So this is the daily here. That's what happened. Let's zoom in on the 5 minute. I'm sorry, the 3 minute. I'm going to have to get used to all this. So I've got on this chart a 3 minute candles, and I've got a 10 exponential moving average on that 3 minute. I've got the RSI down here. And you can see some of the low peaks for the RSI are giving you some places that maybe some support may come in. So those will be key because of a couple things that happened in here. So one thing we're looking for is to have some pullbacks into that 10 exponential moving average, kind of like that. I can get into more detail of that, but I just really want to crank this out and point out some of the things that I was looking for today. So we had an initial run, a really nice pullback, and then it pushed higher, came back with 5 bull candles, retesting right back into this previous resistance here, turned into new support, and a really nice hammer candle in here. At this point, I was already setting up the trade. I was looking for this to just continue to run up. I thought this looked very similar to have some of them a bigger move like we had on Friday. I thought we could retrace some of Friday's candles a bit. You know what? Let's just zoom out and look at Friday. So this was Friday. And what I'm going to point out for Friday is we started to have some compression here, and it broke down, put in a bullish candle right here below the 10 exponential moving average. I'll get into that some more. And then had a really big directional move. And so here we are with some resistance here, some support here, you get some compression, and then here's this breakout of that compression. So from Tuesday's candle, having this consolidation here, getting a quick run up, getting above these highs. It's like, all right, this looks like it should go higher. Let's get in on a pullback. So get in somewhere down here and see how far it can go. So the first thing, it's going to bump its head against some of the resistance here, started to do that, and actually formed a double top. So when this happened, I was already in bullish down here. And then I put in a bear position in here thinking, what if we go lower? And so I'm protected to the downside, but I've got something that's going to move really nicely to the upside. So I've got it both directions. Anyway, that was what I ended up doing because I was watching the trade. Really, this isn't completely breaking down. Yes, it's a double top in here, but we're making relative highs, and this doesn't make a lower high. It didn't hold that and then rolled down. So I didn't really have to get into a put, but I felt better with the trade I was getting into today to actually just be in both directions. And really, this had a similar potential that if this broke down and then reversed, you know, you could have done the same thing with Friday. But I thought it was going to be more directional. I should have just stuck with, okay, let's just let that run. And just to keep this really simple and just making sure this was going to work, what I've looked at on Amazon would work on SPX. I picked the 4,000 strike up here on the call, and then you can't even see on the screen, but down here a little bit more is a 3850. It's like down here because I thought, all right, well, maybe we'll get a similar size move to this over here, and then we'll like come down and get near it, and at least, you know, it'll get close to the money. So let me zoom back to, actually, I'm going to zoom in on the chart here and make this really simple. And I know it's going to be small. I'm going to show the 4,000 strike call expiring today, the 3850 strike put expiring today, and just point out a couple things. So I had set up the trade and it triggered me in at 907. So it's like over here at 0.25. All right, 0.25. I was risking literally $25. And then once this candle came in right here, and took out that bull candle. Again, similar to Friday, took out a bull candle below the 10 EMA, so bear candle. I was looking to get in bearish as a bit of a hedge or protection. And so I set up that entry, and that got me in at 11:35. So that was about here. All right, at 0.25. So that one's not on the screen. So all total today, I had 0.25 bullish, 0.25 bearish. So that's $25 bullish, $25 bearish, and pretty quickly we bounced. So here's an S curve. Here we went up like this, and then this, and then that, and that kind of thing. So we just kept, and then out of practice with drawing. So S curve. Sorry, there you go. S curve, S curve, S curve, S curve. It just kept S curving all day. So then I went to lunch, but right before I did, I'm like, this one, we're pretty sure that's going nowhere. And then lunch was around noon with some friends. So that was a lot of fun. And while we're at lunch, I'm checking and keeping an eye on how the call is moving. All of a sudden, the call is at like 60. I'm like, I could get out for basically break even. And it's like, I'm not going to do that because I think it has more room to go. But before going to lunch, I set a target at $1, thinking I'll just make some money, right? Just to make sure this thing's working. So I was in it 0.25, set a target at $1. This one, I didn't even set a target because I was pretty sure even if lunch went a little while, even if it rolled back down, it's like it's already bouncing. It's not going to be worth anything later. It'll probably, I could have just gotten out pretty quickly after this. I could have just probably gotten out for like $5, and instead I let it expire. So bad on me, but yeah, the call, however, this had a really nice spike here. So this happened right about 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock was that candle, and I was exited out of the trade, hit my target. Now it's like, oh, I should have set it at 2. Well, I didn't know it was going to have this kind of a spike. And look at the size of this candle and this candle here on the 3-minute. And then look at the size of this candle and this candle. So this is the market makers reacting, or the Greeks reacting to how quickly we had a movement in SPX and what the option had to do compared to what it had been doing. So like you have this run up of these other candles here, and you had bull candles. So that ran up from like 0.15 all the way up to like 0.6. And then it had to spike higher because it's like, oh, the Greeks are saying we're getting really close to the 4,000 strike. We could get there, you know. So the options have to infuse this value. And if you can have your target just sitting there ready to be hit, ready to get you out of a trade when that's going to happen, you're just going to make that profit. Now I was really hoping for some positive slippage, was exited right at $1. And then, like I said, this one expired. So I made from 0.25 to $1, so 0.75 on that option. And this one went down from 0.25 to 0. And I just charged the broker, and it hasn't cleared completely, so it doesn't reflect exactly. But anyway, all total, made $50 between these two options. Like I said, I didn't necessarily have to get in bearish on this one, so I could have saved the hedge and not done that. It was more so just like, okay, let me make sure I'm watching both of these, see how these move. I'm in it. I'm thinking about, you know, how things are trading, but I didn't have to add the hedge at this point. Would have saved me $25, but still made the gain, got into the trade, you know, got to see, okay, this is just going to move sideways. Like it was sideways for so long, actually really early on. So like I said, I was in at 907. I could have gotten out for maybe 0.45, a little bit of a gain, like $20, but this is scalable. This is something that if your risk is actually if your risk is $100, you could have gotten into 4 contracts and done absolute zero. So you get into 4 at 0.25, and the stop is at 0 or no stop basically. And then you have your a target, you know. So originally I had a target. I was thinking like Friday we had a bigger move that just ran. So I was expecting that, looking for that. So I had a target way, way, way up here at like 5, thinking, or no, it was 550, thinking, well, I want this to just skyrocket. I'm in at 0.25. That's my, I'm going to call that my risk, my R. If I get up to 550, like that's a huge gain. That's like a 20-hour trade, right? Well, when I saw how much slower this was going and then kind of reversing. It's like, all right, I got to move that target lower. So I was reacting to the movement of the day, that it was a slower move, kind of grinding higher. And I knew that from the grind higher, the option was going to stay relatively compressed through here. But eventually it got high enough, had a bigger move, more of a explosive move here. And that explosive move let me hit that target. Could have set the target at 150. Could have set it a little bit higher at 2. If I set it at 250, I don't think it would have filled. 3 definitely would not have filled. So that's kind of thing. You got to get a feel for how that target is going to be reached depending on how the how SPX is moving during the day. So we're making higher lows all day long. We're just trading right along with the 10 here. I haven't even looked at this, but I am just going to switch this back to looking what I'm used to looking at, having the 21 on here, and we'll see if that follows a little better. Okay, so the yellow line to the 21, we cut that back down through that. We were holding the 21 here, holding it here. Okay, so the 21 actually did pretty good. So these are things I'm going to be looking at, getting a feel for how SPX is moving. But I literally found out that there are SPX options. Found this out yesterday. Looked into it some last night. It's like, I think this could work. Here's my very first video on it on my channel. Let's see what we can do. So look for more of these for SPX. I'm going to continue to study. I'm going to continue to look at this. The one really cool thing is the option expired today. So tomorrow I'm going to be looking at options that expire on the 8th, because tomorrow is September 8th. And then the 9th, I'll be looking at options that expire on the 9th, because this is what I've been doing on Amazon, specifically on Fridays, because only Friday expirations. But we need to have some big candles. And I'll get into more of the daily, but right now this worked, and it's not why I'm doing the video. It's just to really share that, hey, here's some new place that I can put this comparison, that I can explain what I'm seeing. And I really, really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. This is Justin, and I will figure out soon what we're going to be calling the channel going forward, and may have some name changes to like land something I like. So hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.